It is early morning. Another school day, another week. Like in all other primary schools across Kenya, students at Komarok South Primary School in Nairobi County are tidying up the spaces, confronting the challenges of everyday life. Here, maintaining a clean environment is one of the first lessons that the students learn. It is the morning ritual. The bell rings. It does so every hour, every day. And as the bell rings for change of order, we change direction to see what National Government Constituencies Development Fund is doing away from Nairobi. Today, we are heading to Kongoni Primary School, which is about 300 kilometers from Nairobi, at the heart of the Tsavo National Park. The road to Kongoni School, situated in Mwatate constituency, is motorable. As we drive to Kongoni, we come across drought devastation, smelly carcasses of wildlife due to lack of water and pasture. The story of Kongoni Primary School is unique. The story of human-wildlife conflict takes us to Kongoni School to see what NGCDF has been doing to alleviate misery for school-going children who come into contact with wildlife on their way.
With the committee and the elders of Maktau community, they saw it wise to start another school on this side, whereby it could be near the lower village, which had wildlife conflict when people were going up to the Maktau Primary, which is 2 kilometers away from this school. The learners could be late and come out early from school due to wildlife. So CDF has helped us very much, has helped this community very much. The school is now near the village. The children can come here to school very early and also go late, which gives more time with the pupils, with the teachers to complete the syllabus early. So we thank the CDF. They have completed the school. They have built 8 good classes right from 2016 up to date. Within a very short time, they have completed the school.
Across 290 constituencies of Kenya, NGCDF has invested heavily in primary school education.
Fund has put so much focus so that we reduce the distance and of trekking or walking to 1 or 2 schools in a constituency. We have focused much more on infrastructure, not only the infrastructure, the physical, but also the quality of the classes we construct.
From Mwatate, we traverse the country to Mount Kenya region, to Lower Sagana Primary School. Here, NGCDF has stepped in the gap to deal with congestion in schools. The head teacher, Mokuha Joffrey, gives an insight on NGCDF involvement in the school.
The classes are well renovated. The offices that we have are very much good. They are so spacious, well covered with the tiles, and even the walls are good. So when the learners are inside the class, they feel very much motivated.
Still in Dia constituency, we go to Kasharu Primary School. Here, a school almost closes doors due to wear and tear. But NGCDF gave it a new lease of life by doing renovations on the dilapidated structures.
Hii shule yetu wakati wa zamani kuna miaka pale mbele ilikuwa imeharibika kabisa kwa sababu shule ya zamani tangu wakati wa emergency kwa sababu ya CDF imekuwa sasa imekuwa tofauti kabisa, ilikuwa imeboromoka, shule imeanguka. Sasa mwisho sasa CDF ilipokuja sasa ikajengwa. Inaonekana vile mnavyoona wakati kwa sasa.
But we thank God that CDF has really made a difference. There were no children in this school, but today the school has improved. The school and a total number of 179 pupils, but today we have over 250 pupils, and even the performance has improved because we have improved the physical environment. The environment is good. The children were writing, and then the desk could fall with the learners. So we are very happy because our CDF has really improved the standards of the school.
Since independence, education has been one of the key drivers of change in Kenya. While it was introduced by the British colonialists in 1908, when a joint education committee was formed by the missionaries, not all parts of Kenya were targeted. I will walk miles to access education, the song says. This is Kapsabul Primary School in Soy constituency, Uasin Gishu County. The school has been built by National Government Constituencies Development Fund. The beautiful landscape Mother Nature offered to the community living here comes with its packages and challenges. Before construction of this school, students walked for up to 5 kilometers in the ridges and valleys to the nearest school. But during the rainy season, the local river cut off learners.
Yes, tulikuwa na shida ya shule kwa ajili mimi nikiwa mmoja ambaye niliweza kusoma katika shule ya Barsombe ambayo iko mbali. Tulikuwa tunaweza kusafiri, na wakati huo tulikuwa na shida ya mambo ya mito. Tuko na mto moja ambayo ni ya Barsombe na kuna mito ndogo ndogo. So wakati huo tulikuwa tunaweza enda moja, hatuwezi kuja lunch.
So we thank the CDF for the good job they have done. It was a very wonderful job. The community could not manage actually to put up 5 classrooms. It was impossible. So the CDF is a strong pillar of education for us and our children still.
Across the valleys and hills and in busty, noisy towns, NGCDF has made access to education a reality through infrastructure development in different settings. In Kibra neighborhood of Nairobi City, Raila Educational Center has come up to solve one of the problems urban schools have been grappling with: congestion.
Tuliandika proposal, tukampelekea kwa ofisi yake. Tukaangoja, tukafikiria ametusahau. Punde si punde, tukaona amekuja, ametuita board, akasema haya, nimesikia malilio yenu, CDF itawajengea shule. Shule yetu ilikuwa pale juu kwa mabati. Watoto walikuwa hata kikuja kwa shule hana moral ya kusoma kwa sababu ilikuwa kwa mabati. Kweli CDF managers pale kwa ofisi yake walikuja, wakaangalia compound, wakatuambia mnataka tumjengee wapi. Tukachukua hii site ambayo tuko sahihi sasa. Wakarudi, waliporudi engineer walikuwa naye tayari. Engineer akakuja akaanza hii building. Vile mnaona shule yetu kwa saa hii ni maridadi kabisa. Mungu ametusikia malilio yetu. Hata wakati tulikuwa huko kwa mabati, performance ilikuwa very low. Very low. Tulikuwa second last huko nyuma. Tulikuwa nafunganga huko nyuma. Lakini of recent sisi ndio tunafuata Olympic saa hii. Hapa sisi ndio tunafuata Olympic kwa sababu ya building. Watoto walifurahia kukaa kwa building mzuri maridadi kama hii ambayo tumejengewa na CDF.
Kwa hakika tunafurahi na tunapenda kuona CDF sababu CDF imekuwa ya manufaa kwa hii shule yetu. Hapa awali watoto wetu wamekuwa wakisomea kwa matope na mabati, lakini sasa hii tunashukuru kwamba watoto wetu wako kwa mazingira mzuri. Kwa sababu CDF imeleta usawa, watoto wetu pia wanakaa ni kama shule zingine ziko Lavington, ziko Lang'ata, ziko kila mahali. Kwa hivyo tunashukuru sana kwa ajili ya CDF. Na tungependa pia tuendelee kupokea sana msaada kutoka kwa CDF kwa ajili ya manufaa ya shule yetu. Sababu tunaona mambo mengi bado yanahitajika kwa ajili ya hii shule yetu ili watoto wetu wakue sawa sawa. Tunashukuru na tunasema asante kwa sababu ya manufaa ambayo tunapokea kama wazazi
shule kwa minajili ya shule yetu ya Raila Educational Center.
It is 20 years since Constituencies Development Fund, the precursor to National Government Constituencies Development Fund, NGCDF, was formed. Its role was to open up government services to Kenyans who were marginalized geographically, historically, or even politically. The fruits of the fund have been reaped everywhere in the country, especially in the education sector. In constituencies all over Kenya, there are brand new schools. Others have structures that have been renovated. All these signature projects attest to what NGCDF has done over 20 years it has been in existence.
The introduction of free primary education in the year 2003, so the rate of school enrollment increased at a very high rate. So this brought about congestion in schools. It also resulted in pressure being put on the few facilities that are available in school. So NGCDF came in to address this issue by funding establishment of new schools, which now helps in decongesting the few available schools.
Governments invest in education for future monetary and non-monetary benefits. As people acquire knowledge, they learn virtues and values. As the case of Magogoni Primary School in Kisauni constituency, which NGCDF has built from scratch. The head teacher, Rebecca Arogo, says it has come in handy to mold children, therefore curbing teenage crime in the area.
So when this school was put up, the parents were very happy, the community was very happy, and they were able to bring in their learners. And that is why the number of learners grew very, very fast, because most of them were at home. CDF has done wonders. They were able to put up classrooms and 5 toilets for girls and 3 toilets for boys. And remember, this area is the one which has the Wakali Kwanza, the Wakali Wao, and all those gang groups. In order to curb the problem, let us find a solution of putting up more classes so that the parents can bring those learners here, they continue learning, and prevent them from joining those gang groups.
Hailed as one of the foundations to developing communities, education enables learners enjoy future benefits such as employment opportunities, higher earnings, improved standards of living, and higher productivity.
Education is a bedrock of our economy. Primary education is the basis of our development. It is where our children get the basic knowledge and skills as they grow.
The United Nations Scientific and Cultural Organization, popularly known as UNESCO, argues that investment in education for children from poor backgrounds sets off a process of intergenerational poverty reduction. Through NGCDF's infrastructure development in various primary schools across the country, more children from poor families have been able to access school.
It has been a successful story that NGCDF has built classes across the country. We cannot say that we have done 100%, but the strain and the pain by the parents and do the school management teams across the country has been relieved. That pain has been relieved after CDF came on board.
When Kenya gained her independence in 1963, President Kenyatta, the first president, pledged to fight poverty, ignorance, and disease. One way to achieve this was through opening up of the education sector. Community fundraising programs, popularly known as Harambees, were introduced to build infrastructure in schools. The government also put in enormous resources to build schools. Literacy levels soared. But there was a hiccup. In the 1980s, cost sharing in the education sector was introduced through the Structural Adjustment Program, popularly known as SAPs. Education to some became unaffordable. The cost sharing left some communities with no access to education as they did not have money to pay school fees. But President Mwai Kibaki's administration changed that by declaring free primary education for all. Then came CDF, now NGCDF, which injected billions of shillings to the education sector. NGCDF has been hailed for restoring glory and dignity in Kenyan schools, giving learners a new lease of life. Schools in urban, rural and marginalized areas are now accessible and spacious to accommodate students from different backgrounds.
There are quite a number of poor Kenyans down at the grassroots level. So this fund, given that it has its presence at the lowest level, it is really a community empowerment fund that through national government CDF, wananchi are able to address their needs. The poor child who cannot access education will be able to access education because national government CDF would enable the community to put up a school just next to where wananchi are. And many of the schools that we have started are actually day schools. So you realize that the national government CDF has supported schools that are able to provide education cheaply.
With public participation on allocation of funds at community level, constituencies like Ikolomani have come up with sound infrastructure developments that have changed the face of public schools for better. On average, a 15-class one-story building costs an average of 16 to 20 million shillings.
From 2013 up to now, we have, through CDF funding, we have constructed 53 primary school structures, including three secondary schools.
Depending on community needs, constituencies have come up with innovative ways of upgrading schools. In Keharo constituency, it's Cabro paving, while in Kabondo, Kasipul, it's terrazzo floors. In Amariba DEB Primary School in Nyaribari Chache, the NGCDF board built this hall, a corporate social responsibility initiative.
We didn't have any multi-purpose hall around the whole zone, Matunwa zone. This is Matunwa zone, that's in Nyaribari Chache constituency. So we saw to it that when we build it now, it will help the learners very much. They'll interact, and even it will act as a library because we don't have one. So when it's equipped, it will act as a library. At the same time, now the culture will be improved because co-curricular activities like drama, music will be encouraged by not only the learners, up to including the community. So even that excitement of learners that they have a hall in itself has boosted their self-esteem, which is a plus to the school and to the community.
In Dagoretti South, NGCDF has identified another basic need. It's lunchtime at Riruta Satellite Primary School. These learners are going for their lunch break. Queuing in an orderly manner, everybody receives their portion. This has been made possible due to construction of a modern kitchen at Mukarara Primary School in Dagoretti South, financed by NGCDF. It is here that food is prepared and delivered to neighboring schools for distribution through a partnership with a local non-governmental organization. The right to food is a human right. It protects the right of all human beings to live in dignity, free from hunger and food insecurity. Parents, like the students, appreciate the lunch project even more.
wakati hiyo program haikuwa imeanza, nilikuwa hapa, na wakati ule tulikuwa tunalipa 50 kila siku, lakini wakati hii program ilikuja ikaanza, bado nilikuwa hapa, na hii program imenipeleka vizuri sana, kwa sababu wakati mwingi ni ule unapata hata pesa hakuna. Watoto wengine wanatoka nyumbani, kama saizi kuna ile mambo ya kukosa chakula, kuna mambo ya janga la njaa imekumba nchi yetu, na sasa unaona hata mtoto anaweza kuja hapa anakula, akifika nyumbani analala na hiyo chakula, asubuhi anaamka anakuja shule. Kwa hivyo kwa upande wangu na wenye ambao ni jirani zangu, tunafurahia hii program na tunaomba iendelee hivyo.
On 20th November 1989, the United Nations General Assembly adopted the Convention on the Right to Education and Primary Education. Article 28 of the Convention states that every child shall have a right to education, and primary education shall be made compulsory and free to all. NGCDF has come along to complement the government's effort to make this a reality.
Kazi nzuri mliofanya, CDF wetu tutawapongeza kwa kazi nzuri mliofanya. Wapi? Huku shule Kapsabur. Tena sisi tutashukuru. Wapi? Huku shule Kapsabur. Tena sisi